We at WD Legal CIC have created an organization that provides practical help to victims of the Windrush generation and others. We help them by helping them fill in the forms, explaining to them what the form is actually asking, what is needed, suggesting what they could do and what can't do by reaching out to their doctors, MPs, counsellors. In this case, a lot of people have suffered with mental health issues, reaching out to psychiatrists, psychologists if needed, getting their medical records, compiling them, and then submitting their applications for them or with them or on their behalf, which is for them. Another practical help that we provide is listening ears. A lot of people have not relived the experiences that they've had for many, many years, and having to do so now is particularly painful for a lot. And we act as crutches, as a shoulder for them to lean on, as a safe place to say it's okay, you can come forward. Who qualifies? Yeah. Okay. People from the Caribbean, Commonwealth, Asia, Africa, they're all eligible providing they meet the criteria set out by the Home Office to apply to get their status rectified and then go on to claim compensation. But we won't know if you qualify unless you reach out and tell us your stories. And we assess it based on the criteria provided. Don't assume that you don't. Ask a question. It's free service. Reach out. It's there to help you. It's there for you. The scheme is very ambiguous. Yes. And unfortunately, although it came out in 2018, it's only December 2020 that traction in taking up the scheme and the offer from the government has actually been realized. It is not very clear. It's not very, the best word to describe it. It's confusing. There's 45-page guides for the primary, secondary, and SDCs. That's just the guides. And then you have the actual applications. The aim was supposed to make the application simple, fair, easy to understand, even by the older generation. But that wasn't the case. They're asking you to prove things and for evidence that you wouldn't have now. Especially if you've moved homes, for example, in this day and age. You lose paperwork, you don't keep receipts. So much as from 1948, 1960, 1971, from the eligible period that you're entitled to claim, you don't have evidence to show. And yet people are being penalized for not having that. That was one of the problems that was identified. We operate primarily out of Manchester. I paused there because there's a national organization, WINOG. So there's several places around the country where you can get help, different people offering different Windrush services. But for us, our organization works primarily out of Manchester. We will soon be working out of Liverpool too. We will be offering surgeries or start offering surgeries after we launch on the 20th of June in celebration of Windrush Day, the 22nd of June at Christian Gold House International in Kensington. It's a church. It's a relic church. It's a lovely building. And we're going to be offering drop-in sessions and appointments. The aim is to get as much people from Liverpool coming forward to rectify their status. I appreciate that a lot of people do not trust the Home Office, do not trust the government, but this is about rectifying your status. They've given us a window on where we can do it. We need to capitalize on that fact. I appreciate your caution in this, but we are here to help. Please do come forward. Please do reach out to us. We have helped a lot of people claim compensation, and some of them we've advised not to because of the uncertainty around the compensation scheme by the government and the minimal payouts that they offered after claims have been put in. One case that I've personally dealt with that really caused personal hurt and I will carry with me for the rest of my life is somebody who experienced, their mother was terminally ill. The mom was in a different country and they were here. And because of being unable to prove their status, They could not be at their mum's bedside for the last few weeks, and the mother requested them to be there. And the person and the mum was close. The mum passed away, funeral, buried, and they had not seen their mum. They wanted to go, but their fear was, would I be led back into the country? Would I come back to my job? Would I have a place to stay? What will happen? This is where I was born. In some cases, and another similar case, this wasn't where the person was born, but they grew up here. They came as a child. It's devastating. For me, you only have one mother, especially if you're close to your parents, or your parent in this case. To not be there, I won't wish that on anyone. For the system to function effectively, the government needs to provide clarity, and they need to fulfill their promises. Over the past 3 years, they've made several promises, and there's been no fruition in the eyes of the communities. If they say they're going to do something, they need to do it. The Home Office specifically said that they're going to do stuff, they're going to try to right wrongs, but they can't do it alone. This can only be done if Parliament passes legislation, as they've repealed Section 7 of the 1988 Act, and then only Section 6 applies, which allows for people in the Windrush generation and others to get British citizenship through naturalization. They need to repeal that Section 2 and allow the Windrush generation to register as British citizens, in my opinion. But more importantly, as I've said just now, laws need to be made, changed, amended, repealed. This can only be done through Parliament. When that's happened, then people will start believing in the government, believing in the system. They've offered a lot more to the people from Hong Kong, Europe, in the past 3-5 years. And the Windrush generation has been here much, much longer. And they have not received remotely similar treatments like those. The disparities is unprecedented and harrowing.